so that the public can trust them. I'm going to start with Andy, if I can, at the far end.
Yeah, I didn't actually promise I was going to listen to the constituents, because I just think when you say that sort of thing, people don't trust you anymore. And I think the trust in politicians is at an incredibly low level, and rightly so. And the problem is that we're all scared to say, I disagree with my own party. Well, guess what? There are a raft of policies of my own party I disagree with. My party isn't infallible. It makes lots of mistakes. Also, the second we say we've changed our mind on something, we're accused of being inconsistent. Well, guess what? I've changed my mind enormously since 1974, when I thought just about the same things that Jeremy Corbyn does now. It's a bit of a shame he hasn't matured his thinking over that time period and come up with some better policies. And people can disagree across party lines and respect each other, and that's really important. So I do think the words that you used at the start of this are incredibly important. But I also blame journalists, because the second anybody admits that they've changed their mind, or they disagree with somebody, or they're not exactly on party line, that should be admirable. It should not be criticised. It should be a badge of honour.
Brian, you were nodding along with that.
I was just nodding in agreement with the media. The media, as we've seen over the last couple of years, has got its own agenda. We all recognise what that is. And talking about from a Labour perspective, what's happened to Jeremy Corbyn has been abhorrent. You know, he's throughout his career, he has been consistent. He's stuck to his principles. But anyway, for myself, if I was, elected MP, I'll be transparent. As I said earlier, I would be available to people. I wouldn't be disappearing here, there, and not be seen until it's election time. I would be here all the time, meeting with people, and more importantly, listening. So actually, I might not have a view on something that you agree with, but if I listen to you, take it on board, and take it back into the House of Commons. Right at the moment, no one trusts anyone in there, because it has been, over the last couple of years, especially with the Brexit situation, people just not caring about what's happening in their constituency. We need to bring trust back into politics for everyone at all levels. Have people in there that actually reflect the people they represent. For me, that's the important part.
Brian, thank you.
Well, Chief Whip is not the person who asked about trust. But I don't buy this argument that this last Parliament has been full of people who have been doing the wrong thing. They have been unsuccessful in many ways. They have failed in many ways. But this issue of Brexit is hugely complex. It is hugely complex. I'm not standing here saying it is simple. I'm not standing here saying that you shouldn't, if you don't like what I'm proposing, think of voting something else. It's the biggest political challenge this country has had in decades. And the people I saw there frustrated me hugely. I tried to get to a position of compromise with almost all of the parties. But what I saw was people under a high degree of stress. Remember, we've had more attacks on female MPs, in social media, on the whole sort of fabric of our democracy. And I saw people trying to deal with a very, very difficult challenge. So I do not accept that the last Parliament was full of bad people. I think to Brian's point, I think people did continue to work hard in their constituencies, but their job is to represent their constituencies at Westminster, and all of the people I saw, however frustrating they were trying to do that in different ways.
Thank you, Julian.
So, when I started looking into politics, it was 2010, because I was about 12 years old then. And I remember watching Have I Got News For You, Mock the Week, and everyone made fun of the politicians, they never trusted them. So I've never really grown up with the idea that a politician, to be honest, could be integral. And it's quite, I think it is, as Andy said, the media is partly to blame. They just attack MPs, they attack anything people do, and it makes it much harder for them to talk against party line or just speak their mind. But for me personally, the way I make sure that everyone stays honest and integrity is that I myself would do it and try and hold people in my party to the same respect and same principles I would hold someone else from a different party to. I will not change, I'll change my mind, I'll be honest about it, I wouldn't lie, I would say why I changed my mind and why I feel this. And I would hold anyone in my party to the same level of thing, and I will call them out on it if they do not do the same. Thanks, Jim.
to address that issue of the anger that's in the country. The anger that some is in this room. That is not an expression I've used on any of my literature, I hasten to add. And like we've all said, there are elements of our party's policies which we would not agree with. But the question is whether this trust is broken down because of dishonest action. And there's a difference between mistakes and dishonesty. Jo Swinson has admitted she made some mistakes when she was in the coalition. The Liberal Democrat Party admit they made mistakes in the coalition, and all governments make mistakes and admit to them. But there's a difference between making a mistake and admitting to it and being openly dishonest. And I have to say that if we look at the leader of the Conservative Party at the moment, and the Prime Minister, we have to say that he has a long and undistinguished record of dishonesty. He promised £350,000 million a week to the NHS. He put on his £350,000 a week to the NHS. That's not true. That's not true. 350 million a week, I'm sorry. £350 million a week for the NHS, it's not true. He promised to get Brexit done. Julian's just said that that's not true. And he lied to the Queen about the prorogation. You know, how bad can you get? So there's a difference between mistakes and dishonesty. We don't want a dishonest Prime Minister.
Going to close it out. Thank you.
Anybody have a question?
In this room, on the last occasion, I asked Julian how many MPs had voted Remain in their personal capacity. It was the majority. Within 2 months, the majority had voted for Article 50. In this room, you turned round, and you've all turned round, and that's the difficulty you're in. Because as you said, you voted for Remain and still believe it would be a better deal.
So the suggestion is that MPs aren't true to what they're saying in one place and doing in a different place.
I just said to you that I
Microphone.
voted for the 3 times. I voted to deliver the result of the referendum, the deal I thought was in the best interest of the country, and that's why I think a deal is in the best interest of the country. And I think if you go round in circles around what the psychoanalysis of that decision making, there was a referendum. I've stood on a party ticket to deliver on that referendum. I've worked flat out to try to deliver on it.
Thank you. We'll just take a broad, I'm just interested in the broad census in the room. Just raise your hand if you think that there is no trust or integrity in politics anymore.
That's a difficult statement to make.
Yeah.
No trust or integrity. Whether or not trust or integrity has been eroded.
Yeah, has trust and integrity in politics been eroded?
There's a lot of trust and integrity in all society.
We're going to move on to the next question. David Alderson, is David here? Yeah.
One of the pressing needs for the government is to make adequate provision for an increasingly elderly population. The demographics have been known for generations, but governments of all views have steadfastly avoided addressing the issue. Are any of the parties prepared to grasp this nettle?
Thank you.
Well, I think it's a